Well, President Trump says his administration is taking over policing Washington, D.C., and that New York City could be next.
Yeah, he's using emergency authority to take over the D.C. Police Department and to deploy the National Guard. Let's go ahead and bring in our Henry Rossoff, because I guess, Henry, the president is threatening to do something similar in New York?
Yeah, quite explicitly, actually. New York, Chicago, and L.A. were all mentioned. He spent some time talking about New York. He was pretty explicit in saying unless things change in New York City soon, we could see a bigger federal presence here. And Mr. Trump has expressed some specific concern about what would happen if Democratic nominee for mayor Zoran Mdani, in fact, does win. And I was able to press Mdani today about how he would handle President Trump deploying the National Guard.
Then I'm going to look at New York in a little while. Let's do this. Let's do this together. Let's see. It's going to go pretty quickly.
President Trump made clear New York may very well be the next target for federal deployment of troops, while announcing his administration is taking over policing in Washington, D.C.
Other cities are hopefully watching this, and maybe they'll clean up, and maybe they'll do this and get rid of the cashless bail thing and all of the things that caused the problem.
New York's cashless bail reform is a statewide policy designed to stop people from lingering behind bars in poor conditions while they await trial. It's been controversial since it was passed in 2019 and has been tweaked several times, especially since crime rose following the pandemic. Congressman Jerry Nadler says President Trump is more legally limited in what he can do to New York City as far as law enforcement.
We should be worried about it, but we have more weapons to fight it than Washington does.
In general, President Trump has threatened New York more and more since the Democratic primary win by Zoran Mdani, a 33-year-old Democratic socialist representing Queens in the state assembly. Mdani Monday kicked off a 5-borough tour designed to showcase how he would fight back against Trump. He said he would engage directly with the president if the National Guard was ordered to New York City. When I pressed Mdani about other specific actions he would take, he said he would hire 200 more city attorneys and better staff city government to be prepared.
There is much of that fight back that has to be delivered forcefully, rhetorically, through conversations both public and private, but there's also the act of governance that is its own fight back.
As for the other major candidates in the race for mayor, former Governor Cuomo continues to make the case he's the only one with the experience to push back against Trump, saying he was able to do so successfully during his term as governor. Mayor Adams, I spoke with a spokeswoman for him today, cites good crime stats that just got unveiled, but said he would work with federal partners on certain big operations, think gang busts and the like.
Yeah.
And I guess, Henry, the other big talker on the campaign trail is something former Governor Cuomo is calling Zoran's Law. Yeah,
so he's trying to, a little bit of tongue-in-cheek here, but he's trying to evict the assemblyman who is in a rent-stabilized apartment while he makes approximately $140,000 a year as an assemblyman, plus his wife makes some money. So they're well off enough to be doing better than their $2,300 a month apartment and should go to a family in need. That's what Cuomo argues. What Mr. Mdani argues when he was talked about that today is, you know, this is just some half-baked attempt to push me out of my apartment that would really destabilize a whole bunch of New Yorkers. And, you know, he says, I'm living rent-free in Cuomo's head, and he's not developing real rent policy. Now, bear in mind, when it comes down to rent stabilization, Mr. Mdani says as mayor, he would freeze the rent. Mr. Cuomo is advocating for a small rent increase for landlords to keep up with the bills. So that's the real policy argument here. But, you know, Mr. Mdani feels this is just a political stunt when we asked him about it.
That's quite the divide right there in their policies.
Yeah, let's focus on the policy here, if you will. You know.
Yeah, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.